Hey Sagittarius, welcome to your 2023 year in review reading, where we'll take a peek at your experiences over the past 12 months and how you are going to be rolling into the new year. So, kicking off, we have the travel card. Could indicate literal travel, where you maybe changed residences or got out there and explored the world, or something that's a little bit more internal, where you have taken a journey of self. And we have that clarified with it's manifested. New desired reality is already present in your life. Vibrational alignment, astrology gives edge. All right, Saggies. So I feel like, heavens, all right, there we go. I feel like for a lot of you, this was not necessarily literal travel and you going physically from one place to the other, but that you did have that journey of self where you shifted your existence. Like you sort of shifted your mindset so that it's showing up in the 3D. It feels like for a lot of you, you were very heavy on manifestation practices, grounding yourself throughout the past year. And you started to see some of those things that you had in your head showing up in real life. So you made this sort of transition from where you were, where you started in 2023, which for a lot of you, I don't necessarily think was a terrible place. It certainly wasn't what you had in mind for your dream existence, but it wasn't awful. It wasn't completely awful, but still, you wanted more. And I think that you moved in such a way that you were able to get much more throughout the year. And so wrapping up, it feels as though there's this sense of, look how much I've been able to do, how much I've been able to get, how much I've been able to accomplish over the past year. 2024 is going to be even better. So it feels like you are going into the new year with this very heavy, very healthy sense of accomplishment and achievement and empowerment that you can do not just the same thing in 2024, but even better. So let's get into some tarot and see what's coming out for you. So something that sort of represents you over the past year, we have the Four of Swords. This is a very restful energy. This is very introspective. So I think that throughout 2023, you weren't as concerned with the social aspects of your life. It was very much focused on you, making sure that you were okay. Six of Pentacles, making sure that you found your balance, making sure that you were giving only as much as you were receiving from other people. It's kind of what I just heard in my head, Saggies, was 2023 was the year of returning energy. What you gave me is what you got in return. And if what I gave you was not returned to me, then you were ushered out of the way expeditiously. It was kind of like, I'm not taking any guff off of anybody. That there is a sense of really being in a place of, I want balance. I want normalcy. I want to get back to myself. It feels like you really got back to yourself. So good for you. I'm feeling this just super excited, super hopeful energy that's coming through for you. And I am excited for you to carry that through 2024. Now, a lesson that you learned over the past year, we have the Three of Pentacles in reverse. There were some people that you had to disconnect from. And for whatever reason, Saggies, I don't feel as though you're particularly heartbroken about those disconnections from those people. It almost feels as though there have been folks around you who, as you started getting more focused on you and your journey and excelling in the lanes that you have set for yourself, they kind of stuck their pinky toes over into it and was like, well, no, I'm going to try and trip Saggy up. And you were like, no, that's not going to happen. So you can go. Bye. Like, there was no pomp. There was no circumstance. It didn't feel like there were any big blowouts. It was more of a recognition on your end that whoever this person was impeding your happiness. 10 of Cups. And so I think that you recognized who is for you, who is not for you, and you knew intuitively what it is that you needed to do with that person. And what you needed to do, which is what you did, was set them to the side. And so, important lesson to learn, but it feels as though you've gotten in such a comfortable place with yourself that it was not a struggle. It wasn't something that had you curled up in a ball at night crying over. It feels very matter of fact, like, well, you weren't on board, so you had to go. There's that. Now, how this soul lesson sort of changed you, we have the 8 of Wands and we also have the Page of Pentacles. Now, for my Saggies, it feels like you are full steam ahead right now. There is so much motivation. There is so much excitement based on the changes that you saw over the past year. You are ready to go. It's like you are so looking forward to that clock striking 12 and ready to get on with your life. The Page of Pentacles, I think that for a lot of you, this is figuring out now how you can sort of move forward with this stability. Pages are pretty naive. They're curious. They're still learning. They're still growing. And I think that what you are doing now is sort of exploring what the next year is going to bring to you, what it is that you can do to sort of continue this energy, especially when it comes to you making money. I feel like a lot of my Sagittarius folks out there have these big dreams. They're decadent, they're glowing, they're sparkly, they're shiny, they're wonderful. And for the record, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. And so right now, it feels as though there is so much excitement building up that you are ready to move forward. You are ready to take these first steps in this sort of new stability, this new financial flow that's coming into you. And part of it is because you have started eliminating these folks that are not for you. You found your balance. You sort of found your groove. You've been finding what works for you. Now, something that may have held you back over the past year, we have the Ace of Wands in reverse. There is what immediately comes to mind is that there is a caution in telling too many people the things that you want to do or the things that are on your mind. Because as I think you've realized, Saggy, everyone is not for you. And so I think that you learned sort of very early on this year and at periodic little points throughout is that if you get excited about something, a new idea, something fresh that's come to you, and you tell the people around you, it feels like there was someone who was like, oh no, that's ridiculous. That's so stupid. Why would you even think of that? And it kind of shut down that excitement until you found your balance, until you went within and figured out that the only validation that you need in life is your own. And so with that Ace of Wands in reverse, it's like, it feels like you had a lot of good ideas, but also in your ears were people saying, this is why it can't work, or this is why you shouldn't do that, or this is why, etc., etc., etc. And that impacted your abundance. That impacted your finances. I feel like a lot of you in this sort of introspective period between now and the end of the year, you're sort of looking back and doing this evaluation. And with the 10 of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands in reverse, there's this thought of how much further along could I be financially in terms of my stability if I hadn't listened to that bullshit? If I hadn't let the naysayers get in my ear, get in my head and, tell me that something wasn't possible or that something was just completely absurd. And so I think that you've gotten out of that energy, Sag. That didn't last very long. And so now you're at a point where you're like, okay, I'm ready to rebuild. I'm ready to go. But I think those initial folks sort of put a little crimp in your step. Now, something that you may have ignored or not realized over the past year, we have the Hanged Man and we also have the Six of Wands in reverse. This is an interesting combination because with the Hanged Man, this is someone who is stuck, sort of in limbo, trying to decide which way that they want to go. But it's also enlightenment or not realizing it, because you see this person, even though they're hanging upside down, they have this halo of light around their head. And by nature of their position, they're able to see things from a different perspective. So I think that for a period of time in 2023, you may have been resisting seeing things differently, seeing the people around you differently, because after all, no rational human being invites people into their space, into their energy, thinking that they're going to not be for them, right? And so I think that, at first there was this thought of, no, this person wouldn't sabotage me. They wouldn't, why would they do that? I've been nothing but fair. I've been nothing but kind. They wouldn't do anything crazy towards me. Well, I feel like they kind of proved themselves wrong on this one. And you may have, at least initially, given them the benefit of the doubt, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, you don't want to go through life just not trusting everybody and everything that comes into it. But you may have overlooked or, not seen some signs that they weren't truly in your corner. And with the Six of Wands in reverse, I think that, with the Six of Wands, it's about victory, right? It's about receiving recognition, having accolades. And I think that you may have, because of this person, unintentionally dimmed your light to make sure that they were comfortable. That, there were opportunities for you to, kind of be like, this is me. This is how I show up. This is me in spotlights, and it feels like this person took away opportunities from you, that they diminished your chance for recognition, for accolades, for attention from jobs, from bosses, from investors, something along those lines. And you realized it, and it's nothing that was fatal is what it feels like, but it feels as though they did trip you up for a brief period of time, because again, this doesn't seem like it's something that you weren't able to recover from. It just seems like you caught on, about 5 minutes later that this person is just not acting in your best interest. Now, something that you should be proud of, look at this. We are starting out with the Eight of Swords in reverse. Now, when this is upright, this is really about someone who is trapping themselves, someone who can't get out of their own head, somebody who is staying stuck, not willfully, but because they don't recognize the fact that they can unstick themselves. Now, in reverse, you are unsticking yourself. Go you, Sagittarius. You are no longer trapped. You have freed yourself through this journey of self, and you are manifesting everything that you want in life. There are no restrictions. There are no chains on you. And we have the Sun. You are rediscovering your joy. You are going back to that place of innocence where everything is fresh and new, and the possibilities are absolutely endless. So 2023, it feels like you got over this little hump. You had this person, this entity in your life that was doing their best to sort of, trip you up, to keep you from being absolutely great. You found your balance. You went within and you were like, you know what? I figured out how to move around you. So we're good. You can stay there. I'm going to be over here in my happy and abundant place. And while I'm not going to pretend like this never happened, I'm not going to give it an ounce more energy than it deserves. So, Sagittarius, you are absolutely on the right track. I am incredibly happy for you that you had this year of getting back to you, because it's going to make your 2024 even more amazing. So, I hope you enjoyed this. Like and subscribe if you did, and I'll see you soon.